Hi, I'm Melissa Shea, President and CEO of the Long Island Real Estate Investors Association. 2 decades ago, on a dare, I purchased my first home with no money down. I received $7,000 cash at the closing and earned $200 a month in passive income, all while my tenant was paying the mortgage.
Since then, we've purchased over $30 million in real estate and have taught people just like you how to do the same. Go to outoftheratracepodcast.com, register, and let us teach you how to become financially independent through real estate investing today.
Hey guys, you're listening to the Out of the Rat Race podcast, the podcast that teaches everyday people how they could become financially independent through real estate investing. Be sure to like and follow our show so that you're kept up to date on all of our new content. And with that, let's get into today's episode. So I'm John Shea, and sitting across from me, as always, is my beautiful wife, Melissa Shea. And today we're going to talk about June's networking topic.
Yes. It's actually one of my favorites.
Okay, so it's June 20, not June 20th.
That's Dylan's birthday.
Yeah, that's Dylan's birthday. June 13th at the Huntington Hilton in Melville, and it's about house hacking your way into your first investment. The doors open at 6:30 p.m., and this meeting is actually going to be hosted by our sponsor and very good friend, Sal Rizzolo from Cardinal Financial.
Correct. And we're going to have 2 other guest speakers with him. So it's basically walking you through how a house hack happens. So we talk about it so generically, we throw it out like a term, but this is actually showing you the process by somebody who's done what I call a reverse house hack.
Excellent. So anyway, house hacking your way into your first investment. I know we've spoken about house hacking before, and I'm kind of shocked that a lot of you new people aren't following this recipe. So this is going to be like kind of a refresher on house hacking. So Melissa, in layman terms, what is a house hack?
In layman terms, it is basically buying a primary home residence with the intent to live there and renting out a portion of the house that covers that mortgage payment.
Gotcha. All right. Random question.
Go for it.
That was pretty good with the layman's terms. We'll get into the rest of it.
I was going to say, you know I have more to say, right?
I know you do, but
Okay.
I have questions planned. So
Go for it.
All right. What's your go-to dance move?
My go-to dance move. Anything Connor does. Yeah, that's probably my go-to dance.
I normally see you with 2 fingers in the sky and just like waving them back and forth.
Like
doing one of these.
Oh, I thought you meant like a staying alive kind of dance. Up and down. No.
Do you do that?
No. But
Do you cabbage patch?
Do I cabbage patch? You know, it's been so long since I've been dancing. I don't remember the last time.
All right. So
go ahead.
Let's just say you already have a house hack.
Right.
All right.
You got to start from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go into house hack a little bit more.
Okay. So here's the reality is there is actually a real new guideline change from Fannie and Freddie, and Sal's going to talk about it at that June meeting. It allows homeowners to count rental income that's not classified as a rental unit. So in other words, if you have a basement apartment with an outside entrance and it, should meet to code, but it doesn't have to have a permit. And I think that's the big caveat. It used to be had to be listed as a 2-family, or it had to have a legal accessory permit in order to be considered an apartment in which you could count 75% of the rental income up to a certain dollar limit. They've now changed that guideline, and that allows more people to take advantage of a house hack. And the whole goal of a house hack, and my new book actually describes this. This is actually how people get going. If they can buy a house hack that has some improvements that you're going to be making on it, it creates equity and value, but it also makes it more affordable so that you can actually have a home that you can rent out and make the mortgage payment. So it's really a great strategy to get started if you don't own a home yet.
So basically, in blue collar terms, you have a house, you make an apartment, you rent it to somebody for half to almost the full price of the mortgage, and then you're able to save that amount of money to get into your next investment, because somebody else is paying that towards your living expenses.
That's correct. Yes.
Perfect.
And that's really what it is. It's about, the goal is to create equity in the home while saving money so that you can get to your next investment property.
So you said it was a new law, what you just talked about. What
new
was
rule.
New rule.
Guideline. Yeah, it's not law.
What was the old guideline?
That they wouldn't be able to count any additional income unless it was labeled as a 2 or 3 or 4 unit, or it had a legal accessory permit. Now they're not requiring that in order to count the income. So I'll give you an example. A high ranch house where it has the upper and lower level, that's still considered a single family house. And yet the downstairs, you're walking in on ground level, and that you can put a kitchen in there, a bedroom, maybe 2 bedrooms, and a living room area. So that would count as rental income, and they'll count 75% of the market rent toward your annual income. And that helps tremendously on qualifying for a mortgage when interest rates have changed so much.
Okay. So if you already have a house with room to do it, you're ahead of the game.
That's true.
But if you don't, and it's your first home, do you need a special type of financing in order to go in and do it?
To do the house hack?
Like if that's your goal going forward, like I want to get a house and I want to do it as a house hack. So you're going to need rehab money. You're going to need to change some things, possibly get some permits. Is there a special kind of financing that's available? Yeah,
there is, but I don't think it falls under the same guideline. One is the 203K loan, right? So that's the HUD loan. So HUD will allow you a product that gives you the renovation money to redo the house and essentially build in an apartment if you have enough funds, and you have one simultaneous close. So they give you the renovation money and you've got the one-time close. So that's very helpful. As to qualifying for it, for the HUD, this is a Fannie and Freddie rule. So they do have a construction one. They call it Home Style and Home Path. And these are going to be discussed more in detail about the guidelines, because I'm not up to date as much, but I'm not a licensed loan officer with Cardinal, so it's better off Sal explain all the minutiae of it. But that's the basic guidelines right now, and that is very powerful into helping you qualify for the house.
Okay. All right. Fun fact, sloths. You know a sloth. Sid the
yes.
sloth.
You have a picture in the office.
I have a couple of them.
Yeah.
Actually, Connor gave me one too.
I know. That's so cute. I love you slow much.
Yeah. Sloths can actually hold their breath longer than dolphins can. By slowing their heart rates, sloths can hold their breath for up to 40 minutes. Dolphins need to come up for air every 10 minutes.
That's how lazy they are. They don't even want to breathe.
They don't even want to breathe.
Exactly.
So I know. All right. So there are some rules and regulations when it comes to house hacking.
Right.
Can you briefly discuss some of them?
Okay. So that's why we have to discuss this, right? So financially, they'll allow you to house hack, but the town or village may give you a hard time about having what they call or deem an illegal apartment. That means you don't have accessory permits. I do believe their intent is good, although they make it sometimes difficult. But they really don't want house fires where people are trapped and they can't get out. You know, you have to make sure that you build any kind of apartment unit in your home with the 2 egress to build it to the town codes that allow for that, right? So they're building it, the hardwired smoke detectors, because most people that are killed in house fires is usually because of an illegal apartment. When there's an illegal apartment in there, they're the ones that usually get hurt. The other thing that's really important is that this is not an investor product, okay? I have to stress that again. It is not an investor product. You have to be owner occupied. You have to move into the home. Now, you don't have to stay there forever. I'm not going to give you a rule of thumb on timing, but if there's a reason why you're going to be moving out and going on to another one, such as your family size get bigger or things like that, or you move into another home, you can still have that home and mortgage. But generally it's frowned upon you need to stay in there a minimum of a year, because you have to have tax recordings of it a year. But just understand, this is the first stepping stone on a primary residence. Now, the nice part is that you're only putting down 3.5% to 5% on these deals. Most of them are 5% because they're Fannie and Freddie. And that makes it more appealing, because as an investor, we have to put down 25%. So just understand, you must live in the property. That's a very big rule.
Because if you're not, it's technically considered a duplex or a multifamily, right?
It's considered an investment property if you're not living in it, and it has to go under investment guideline rules. The reason why they give more favorable terms to primary homeowners is because they want to promote home ownership, because home ownership they take care of their property. If it's an investment property, you only put 5% down. We learned from the 2007 crash. It's too easy for investors to just walk away, So.
Right. All right, random question. When you were a kid, what name did you give your favorite toy or stuffed animal?
Jeanette.
Your middle name?
Yeah, I love my middle name. Well, I got to name my middle name, so that's why.
Did you name all your toys that? Or did you have one specific?
No, I had Lilith. I don't know why I had Lilith. I just thought it was a funny sounding name, Lilith.
Wasn't that Adam's first wife from Adam and Eve?
No.
That's Old Testament stuff.
No, it's not. I read the Bible. There's no Lilith in the Bible.
Look it up. She's there.
Oh, it's not in the Bible.
I'm telling you. She's there. Anyway, what are some of the ways that you could utilize your house hack to further grow your portfolio?
What ways can you use your house hack? So yeah, that's the second part of my book. So my new book that came out, Mission Matters, right, has this exact step in there on how to get started, right? Because a lot of people say, well, I don't have a lot of money, I have good credit, and I have a decent job. How do I start? So this pathway kind of walks through it. I should order some extra books for that meeting. I got to remember that. All right. So the next thing is that once you live there for a period of time and you get some equity and you're saving up and you're using that cash flow to save down for your next down payment, that's when you go into something that has a 2 or 3 unit, and that down payment will help toward qualifying for the mortgage. And then you buy that duplex, triplex, or fourplex, and then keep it for cash flow. And then after a period of time, you're going to build up some cash flow again, your equity. Again, you're still staying in the primary home. I would recommend staying there as long as you possibly can. If your family size gets too big for it. Sal's going to share his experience about it and tell the story of how he house hacked his way into 7 different properties. So it's a pretty neat story.
Yeah, Sal's a good guy.
Yeah.
He also does open bar from 6:30 to 7:30.
Yeah, that's why he's the good guy, right?
At the networking event for free beer and wine. So, fun fact, the New York Police Department had a police officer follow Andre the Giant whenever he went drinking. This was to make sure that he didn't get too drunk and fall on anyone, which apparently had happened in the past.
Interesting. But how much did he have to drink to pass out?
I think he's a world record holder for the amount of beer.
Yeah.
That's ever been drinking and it's sitting. But if you ever look at the pictures, I mean, like a beer can looks like it's a toy in his hand.
I know.
So,
I miss Andre the Giant.
You miss him? I never met him.
I never met him either, but, he was in Princess Bride.
Miss seeing him.
Yeah, I miss seeing him.
Fezzik, right?
Fezzik. Yeah.
No,
was it?
Yeah, he was Fezzik.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one was Inigo.
Anybody want a peanut?
Yeah. Your favorite saying. All right. Question. Depending on the area, can you potentially house hack and Airbnb?
Yeah. That's actually a cool twist there.
I'm thinking of combining.
I know. I like your questions. They make me think. All right. So, yeah, why not? And actually,
you make more money.
Sherry, our neighbor, had to do that, right? Well, I know. You roll your eyes. But she did. So I'll give you an example. This does help a lot of other people. So what happened was her husband died during COVID, not from COVID, but just happened during that time period, right? And so she's a single mom. She has a young child. And so raising her to get a job, it's hard. So this is a perfect way to buy a piece of property and where she rents out to traveling nurses. Or no, actually she doesn't rent out to traveling nurses. She rents out to long-term tenants, like a month contract or 2-month contract for workers. And she rents out 3 or 4 of the rooms. It offsets her income because now she's living on a fixed income from Social Security from her husband's job, and the life insurance is all she had to pay off the house. So I highly recommend that. That's actually a good example of a way of Airbnb and living in the home, and actually makes it a good... It's
a potential to make more, too.
Yeah.
You could probably get the full amount of the mortgage.
Yeah.
Actually, if you play
probably.
it right. Depending on your area.
And you're there, too, so it's a little bit hands-on. But, yeah, it's a great strategy. I think it's really great if somebody... like a young person did that,
right,
coming out of college or something like that and had a decent job that could qualify for a mortgage, and then Airbnb. I mean, you got the life if you're single, right? You don't have to worry about the responsibilities of kids and stuff like that.
And if you're not near a beach or anything like that, but you're near a hospital, that's good too, because you get the traveling nurses, doctors.
Also,
some
just
hospitals that
jobs will relocate people for a short period of time for training and stuff like that. So.
right, and so, some places like hospitals that specialize in cancer and stuff like that, they'll need to be there for a couple months.
That's Jen had that situation. My best friend Jen, Jen Reitner, she had a situation where she's Grapaldi. I'm sorry, Grapaldi. She married my brother-in-law. She had a situation where her they were adopting, and the baby was born prematurely, like 3 months prematurely. And so they stayed 6 months in an Airbnb over there. So yeah, it's definitely for those type of situations. Insurance situations when the house burns down.
Yeah.
You know, so.
All right, lightning round. Here we go. You ready?
Ready.
All right. If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
Oh, geez. Come on. That's a tough one. Be kind to one another. We only have one life, and just be nice to each other. It's so sad that we tear each other down. You know, our job is to serve humanity, not tear it apart. That's probably what I'd say.
I'd probably say something funny and insulting. At the same
I know
time.
you would, but I genuinely care about this freaking world.
Fact.
Okay.
It snowed in the Sahara Desert for 30 minutes on February 18th, 1979.
Where's the Sahara Desert?
You call me geographically challenged.
know.
Question: what type of cuisine would you serve your customers if you owned a 5-star restaurant?
Wait.
Served.
Wait,
I know
wait.
you can't cook with a damn.
I was just going to say. All right, what would I... Let me...
What kind of cuisine would you like to serve your customers if you owned a 5-star restaurant?
Come on, this is a question for you. Okay, let me turn the question back to you.
No, you can. I asked it to you.
5-star cuisine.
What
I
know
you can ask the question.
It could be
50
French.
billion.
It could be Italian. It could be Chinese.
Oh,
It
Italian.
could be breakfast
Italian.
food.
Okay.
All right. So Italian.
We'll stay with Italian.
All right.
Yeah.
Fact: using a hands-free device to talk on your phone. I want you to pay attention to this.
I am.
Okay.
I'm looking.
Using a hands-free device to talk on your phone while driving is shown to be equally or more dangerous than driving drunk.
Really?
Yep.
Wait. Say it one more time.
Using a hands-free device to talk on the phone while driving has shown to be equally or more dangerous than driving drunk.
So putting it on your doohickey dashboard thingy? That's hand-free.
Let's face it. Do you realize that when you answer the phone while you're driving, you start looking up at the sky?
I'm thinking.
Exactly. You're not looking.
No, I am looking.
At the sky.
No.
Where you plan to go in the next 5 minutes. Yes, it is more dangerous than driving
drunk. Mine goes
drunk.
through the phone. That's not true. That goes through the phone now.
Scientific fact.
The Bluetooth thingy.
I looked it up on more than one site. Mm-hmm. It's on the internet. It has to be true.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Question. Which do you listen to the most? Your heart or your brain? And should you?
I'm going to say my gut. My dad told me to trust your gut more than your brain and your heart. I'm going to go with my gut feelings.
So your instinct.
Instinct more than heart or head.
And last question. When was the last time you felt jealous?
I don't really feel that too much. I have to be honest with you. I don't know. And if I do, I don't want to say in the air. So no.
If you do.
All right. When Bonnie, when we were getting married and Bonnie called you.
So about 10 years ago.
Yeah, about that. That'd be fair.
All right. Guys, real estate investing is a pathway to success, but education is the key. Go to outoftheratracepodcast.com, register, and receive the ebook that will explain to you where to get the money to begin investing in real estate today. Stop chasing the cheese and learn how to make it for yourself, because only then can you truly escape the rat race. From Melissa, our staff, and myself, happy investing.